listening to a review by The Dead Prussian, a podcast about war and warfare.
G'day listeners and welcome to another of the Dead Prussian Reviews. These shorter episodes aim to provide you with a quick review of a text of any form that I have found useful or interesting. Each product reviewed on the show will have been read, watched or listened to by me. That way you know the review is legit. Totes legit, in fact. I use these shorter episodes also to provide you with an update on the show. So before I get to this episode's review, I have to thank those listeners who have provided reviews on iTunes, completed the survey on the website, bought merchandise, donated some coin, or emailed us directly with some feedback. Your support is awesome. So, a quick update on our website. We've gone through a revamp. Apparently all my black motif was a little bit 1998 GeoCities rather than 2017 chic. This revamp has coincided with our brand new affiliation with bookdepository.com. These two cool events have combined to form the bookshelf at www.thedeadprussian.com/bookshelf.html. The bookshelf is our curated reading list that will be updated regularly. Every book on the shelf has been read by the team. This is more of our totes legitedness. What does that have to do with our new affiliation? Well, you can click on the title of any book on the bookshelf and be taken to that book at bookdepository.com. You can also use the search box on the bookshelf site to look for a title you have been looking for. One of the reasons we chose bookdepository.com is that it has free shipping globally. That's right, free global shipping. But that's not the best part. The best part is that we get a small commission if you use the links from our website or our affiliate link contained in the show notes. That is all kinds of cracking on awesomeness. But you probably downloaded the show expecting a book review. So, here it is. The book I'm going to talk about today is about veterans' issues, mainly mental and physical injuries and illnesses. I read this book around a weekend a couple of weeks ago and found it extremely moving. It was recommended to me by a good friend and veteran. She told me it would be right up my alley. Not my bowling alley, my reading alley. But she forgot to let me know that nearly every page was a heartbreaking tearjerker. The book is called Thank You for Your Service and it's written by David Finkel, a journalist and author of The Good Soldiers. Finkel is a Washington DC based journalist whose mantelpiece includes a Pulitzer Prize. I don't actually know if he has a mantle, but I do know that he has a Pulitzer. Coincidentally, I've read a lot of books this year by journalists, but half of them are not related to the show. So, back to the topic. In Thank You for Your Service, Finkel follows families and individuals affected by the war in Iraq. They mostly have a common link to a specific unit during a specific tour of Iraq, but the issues covered include the death of a popular leader and its effect on the soldiers and his family, as well as the soldiers' family. It touches on PTSD, traumatic brain injury, physical injuries, a little bit of a moral injury vibe in there, though I don't remember it being specifically mentioned, and also survivor's guilt. The narrative follows the ups and downs of the individuals and their families as they come to terms with their injuries, their illnesses, and a bureaucratic system that struggles to understand and aid those it seeks to help. The different support structures and programs covered by Finkel in the book highlight that the system is led by well-intentioned people, but at times it is too monolithic to respond to the needs of those seeking support. I also found some of the well-intentioned support offered to those in need was quite odd and alien, particularly to myself and my own world perspective. One such example from the book is when a pheasant hunt is organised for wounded, injured and ill veterans. Many of these wounded, injured and ill veterans have exhibited high-risk behaviour, as well as some who have already tried to commit suicide. The individuals and their families are presented at the pheasant hunt with a shotgun for free upon arrival. Now this struck me as very odd. Many of you know that Australia has a different culture when it comes to firearms than the US. But I still found the idea of presenting high-risk individuals with firearms at an event designed to show support for their struggles very alarming. Firearms are actually mentioned a lot in the book, and having many US friends, I didn't find it odd that people would have them in their house. That's what people do. but presenting a shotgun to a PTSD-afflicted veteran who is exhibiting high-risk behaviour just doesn't make sense. Moving through the book, the narrative surrounding the individuals and their families doesn't necessarily take a turn for happier times. In fact, if you're looking for a happy ending, you need to go somewhere else. But if you want a no-holds-barred account of people struggling to maintain their sanity, dignity, and very lives in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, well, this is a book for you. I must also point out that the book was published in 2013 and highlight that the material used to write the book was collected by Finkel between January 2010 and September 2011. The men and families who are struggling in the book were deployed to Iraq in and around 2006 and 2007. If you know a little bit about that war, you'll also know that this was a particularly violent period of that civil war. It is also worth pointing out that the systems and support networks for wounded, injured and ill service personnel have been improving since the book was written. In particular, in Australia at least, another $31 million was apportioned recently to support veterans struggling with mental illness. But back to the book. Will you like it? Maybe. Will you like all the people in it? Maybe not. But they are not characters created for you to like. They are real people whose lives will not be governed by your judgment. You will find them very human, at times inspiring, at times frustrating, and at times maddeningly illogical. Finkel has done a brilliant job in exploring the human condition at its best and worst in this book. Finally, it was the title of the book that resonated with me. Thank you for your service. But it didn't resonate in the way you may think. The narrative exposed the hollowness of this sentiment. I've discussed this issue on previous episodes of this show, most significantly with John Bale from A Soldier on Australia in episode 19. In short, the term has become a way for society to devolve the responsibility it owes to those that serve on its behalf. By using this term, or others, such as I support the troops on a bumper sticker, people feel they are doing their duty as a citizen. However, the sentiment rarely translates into genuine gratitude or pragmatic, tangible support for those in need. The book was published in 2013 by Scribe Publications, and a link is included in our show notes and on the bookshelf. As you know, we have a rating system for this section of our series. The system rates a text out of 5, just like when you give us 5 stars on iTunes. We don't use stars though, we use Carls, and as you know, a Carl is a measure of something's Carlness. Now, I'm about to give this book a Carl rating, but I should give you a snippet to demonstrate its Carlness first. So, in the book, Finkel writes, "Everywhere on this day, the after-war continues, as eternally as war itself." And how many Carls do I give this book? Well, I give it 5 Carls. The reason I give it 5 Carls is because it is brief, informative, pragmatic, and delivers exactly what it promises. You, loyal listeners, will find that it will be rare that we review anything on the show that hits below a 4 or 5 Carl rating. This is because, well, we just don't want to waste your time, and I'd rather you all read what I read. And then you'll think like me, and then I will finally get some laughs. Before I wrap up the show, I urge anyone who listens to the show, is a veteran, and is in need of a bit of support to please seek out your local support networks, or at least call a mate. In Australia, we have the Veterans and Veterans Families Counselling Service, Mates for Mates, and of course, Soldier on Australia. They have recently just launched their side-by-side campaign. Please check it out. That is the end of this review episode. Thanks again for all the support recently. Check out the new website with the bookshelf and be prepared for our upcoming episodes. We have interviews discussing post-traumatic stress disorder affecting veteran peacekeepers, professional military education and the benefits of online networking, and the future of war. Our guests for these discussions will be Adam Montgomery, Nathan Finney, good friend of the show, and our newest friend of the show, Lawrence Freedman. That's Sir Lawrence Freedman to y'all. But until next time, listeners, grab a book and crack on.
Join the conversation with us on Twitter at Dead Prussian Pod, on Facebook at the Dead Prussian page, or on our website www.thedeadprussian.com. All show notes for this episode, as well as copyright information, can be found on the website. The Dead Prussian podcast is written, produced and hosted by Mick Cook. It is co-produced by Amanda Levito. The music used throughout is Caught in the Beat by Broke for Free and is used under a Creative Commons Attribution license. All opinions expressed by individuals on the podcast are those of the individual and not necessarily representative of any other organisation.